Don't take the GMAT because it is getting less and less relevant. That is at least what you would think if you would look at the decline in the number of test takers over the years that you can see here on the left. The number of test takers around the globe plummeted from a high of 225,000 in 2019 to a low of 110,000 in 2023. Does this mean you are better off taking the GRE to obtain a test score to apply for a business graduate degree or MBA? Welcome to my channel Study Pro, and in this video I will explain why I think you shouldn't throw your GMAT books out of the window just yet. Over the years, many universities have become less strict with their test-taking requirements in their application processes. An example is my own university of choice. For many programs, they used to only accept the GMAT, but now this is what their official take on the matter looks like. So the most comprehensive statement I could find from HSC was on their statement of PhDs, but it should also apply to their masters and MBAs. So what is the purpose of the management tests? The GMAT or GRE tests help us evaluate the applicant's analytical capabilities that are essential for a successful career in research or business. There's no minimum required test score, but successful candidates typically have a very good score in the top quartile of the distribution. The average GMAT of admitted candidates is generally around 700. This screenshot might give you the idea that either the GMAT or the GRE is fine, and if you ask them, they would probably also say so. However, I draw distinctive conclusions from this statement that will favor the GMAT over the GRE in most cases. The first is that these tests are used to evaluate an applicant's analytical capabilities, especially in the light of business situations. This means that they want you to be able to analyze a bunch of data or a piece of text and draw correct, insightful conclusions about that. The GRE does a good job of doing that, but there is a reason it is a general test. It does not have the same focus on analyzing data and quantitative aptitude like the GMAT does. Perhaps for less niche programs like an MBA or those programs that deal less with numbers like a master's in marketing, the argument loses some of its strength. But know that universities will value a good GMAT score over a comparably high GRE score because the GMAT tests are more focused on the things that they want to evaluate. For example, the GRE does have a vocabulary component and lacks substance in the data comprehension component, two things that make business schools favor the GMAT. The second thing I take from the HSC statement is more important. They explicitly mention the average GMAT score of applicants while not mentioning this for the GRE. There are multiple factors that explain that discrepancy, but the most prominent one is the prowess of the GMAT and the signaling effect of a 700 plus score. The prolific use of the GMAT causes a recruiter to immediately get a positive feeling about an applicant when they see that kind of a signal. The GRE simply has less of such an effect because it does not have the same reputation in the business world. Then there is another factor that makes the mention of the average GMAT score special. Namely, HSC's statement about test scores tells us about a little bit about the active management of GMAT averages that elite business schools engage in. Universities often have a certain GMAT average in mind for their school. The reasons they do this differs, but it mostly has to do with the image that they want to portray to the outside world. They can say to their students all around the world and potential applicants that their students have an average score of 700. And if they can say this, well, people will know that only the best get to go to this university. So universities manage their GMAT averages. This is great if you can get a score that is higher than the business school's average, because then you'll give them one more reason to accept you besides being a good applicant. Namely, you'll help them improve their status by making their GMAT average slightly more elite. However, if you cannot obtain such a score, this is not very good news. This is where my special advice comes in. If you know you're going to apply for a top tier business school, go ahead and try the GMAT. Try your best and keep close track of your study progress from the beginning onwards. But at some point you might notice that you are really struggling to get a decent score even after you have closely analyzed your weaknesses and made sure to optimize your study process. In that case, it could be an option to go try the GRE. After having studied for the GRE for a while, you will likely manage to score a similar or higher percentile score on that test. This will open up new possibilities. First, you will not form as much of a threat to the average GMAT score of your dream school because your score will now not be incorporated into their average. Second, with a low GRE score, you will likely not be as disadvantaged by the immediate response of a recruiter as you would likely be with a lower GMAT score. But to zoom out a little again, I want you to remember a few things from this video. First, the GMAT is still extremely relevant to specific business programs, but also to MBAs, and will help you stand out of the crowd if you have a high score. So give it a try hard and persevere. If you notice that you're really struggling and not getting close to that average GMAT score of your dream school, then it might be an option to also start considering the GRE. I hope this video was of use to you. Please let me know in the comments if that was the case. This was Your Study Pro. Please subscribe for more related content, and thank you for watching. Till next time.